Our time for Morning Beat. Crooks cost local food producers millions of dollars last year, and this is a growing problem. Thomas Heaton is here to look at this trend in agricultural crime. He is from Honolulu Civil Beat. Good morning to you, Thomas.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You know, we love our farmers. We love our food and produce. What is the problem right now that you're seeing?
Well, of course, Hawaii's had these goals of increasing food production post-plantation era for a very long time. But agricultural crime is a persistent issue, and it kind of goes under the radar. And that was, of course, until last year.
So what sort of crime are we talking about specifically? Because there's different types.
Sure. So there's theft, there's vandalism, and there's trespassing. And then as part of trespassing, there's also poaching. You know, so perhaps hunters going on ranchers' land and taking animals.
So officially, who is tracking this, and how much money was reportedly lost last year?
So no one's really been tracking it for quite a long time, and that's been part of the issue. But there have been two big surveys done by the US Department of Agriculture. One of them was done last year, and that found that the cost of trespassing and the cost of vandalism alone was $3.3 million.
Okay, but the belief is that it's a lot more than that.
Right, so Senator Tim Richards from the Big Island, he's a rancher and a livestock veterinarian. He gave me a rough estimate of it being at least 30% more than that. The reason for that is that farmers have kind of apparently lost trust in law enforcement because they've reported things like trespass in the past, but nothing's come out of it.
All right, so what's being done now? Because there was a case last year that kind of brought a lot more attention to farmers and their security.
Right, so a tragic case last year, Cranston Duke Pia, in February of 2024, he was shot and killed by a trespasser. That trespasser was hunting. Their dog was apparently attacking some of Duke's cattle, and Duke tried to defend his cattle, and unfortunately he was killed in that fracas. So what happened after that? That really kind of exploded the amount of attention to this issue, and Senator Tim Richards, who I mentioned previously, he introduced a bill to essentially crack down on agricultural crime. So the law is actually named after, it is not yet law. The governor has to sign it, but the bill is named Duke's Law, and the governor has until the end of this month, I believe maybe July 9, to actually sign that bill and have it go forth.
And the whole idea of this bill is that it would solve some of the problems that we talked about at the top of this, right? That there's no real law enforcement to help the farmers. Right.
So one of the big things is 9 new staff completely dedicated to agricultural crime, which is, as far as I know, that's 9 more than what was there before. And the other thing that they're going to be doing is they're going to be tracking the data, the statistics, and they're going to be using all of that information to inform their work going forward. So Senator Richards and a lot of agricultural leaders are really, really excited about the prospect of actually clamping down on crime and hopefully helping farmers grow more food for Hawaii.
All right, so we'll be tracking this bill called Duke's Law, because this affects all of us who live here in Hawaii, who eat the produce and eat the meat that is grown here. Thomas, thanks for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I encourage you to read the full article. You can go to civilbeat.org or text 66866 to get the newsletter.